So today I wanted to make a video describing what the problem I encountered with the bike, or pretty much any fuel injected bike, and how I went about fixing it. So first let's talk about this bike. Is the fuel injected 2010 or 11 FX 450 Husaberg, and it had an issue where it would idle poorly, start poorly. It just developed or got worse over time, and it would misfire and bog and shut down. If I crack open the throttle a little bit like that, it'll bog and die down. So obviously it could have been spark, it could have been fuel, it could have been many things. So this is what I did. I first checked the valves. The valves were a little tight, so I put the clearance back where it should be, and then I tried to run the bike again. So yeah, the bike started better, but it still had the bog. So I realized, okay, the cams and the lash and everything is all at the right place. Now it could be fuel or spark. So first thing to check was, easiest to check was the fuel, because it's a lot easy to check the fuel pressure. So instead of just changing out the pump and changing every part here, I decided to put a fuel pressure gauge in between these two tubes. So this is high pressure coming from the fuel pump, goes into the injector. So I took out this connector, put a inline fuel pressure meter, supposed to be 50 psi, and it read 50 psi. So immediately I could rule out that it's not the fuel pump. The fuel pump is maintaining the right pressure. So that's number one. So the next thing is, okay, if the fuel pump is giving the right pressure, what if the fuel injector is not? So one quick and dirty way to check that was, I connected this is the throttle pressure, throttle position sensor right here. It's on the throttle body. So I have a TPS sensor. I connected that, and I loosened this nut, and I increased the voltage from, let's say, 0.5 volts to 0.9 volts. So by increasing the voltage, it gets more fuel. And I found out that when I change the voltage to a higher voltage, it gives the bike more fuel. The pulse width of the fuel injector is increased, so it gets more fuel. And the misfire thing went away to a large part, like 90% went away. So to me, it was very clear at the time, it's lacking fuel. So, but why? So the next thing I did then is, I took all the tank out, I took the fuel injector out, and I cleaned it with high pressure. I put a 9-volt battery on it, and I cleaned it with the injector being open with high pressure air. And then I put it all back together, and I set the voltage where it should be, and it was like night and day difference. The issue was gone. And yeah, so this is how I would recommend somebody diagnose misfires, boggy conditions on your 4-stroke fuel injected bike, or even a 2-stroke fuel injected bike. Number one, are your valves in place? Number two, is your fuel pressure good? So before you guys all go out and put new fuel pumps, cost like $200-300 and a lot of work, just check the pressure. The pressure sensor, the fuel pressure gauge, cost me $20 on Amazon. So check the pressure. So easy, just connect it here, and you can run the bike. It'll show you pressure while it's running, and it's 50 psi straight. That's the recommended pressure on this bike. So check the pressure, and if it still has the problem, one easy way for you to find out if it's a fuel issue is open your sensor, throttle position sensor, and change the voltage to a higher or a lower voltage. See if that issue goes away. So if it does, then your culprit is your blocked fuel injector. Just change it or clean it in my case, and the bike will run like new.